My brothers and sisters in Christ, Paul's words in today's first reading are words that might come across even as insulting to us. He speaks a language of, almost of feeding baby food to people in terms of the faith when we're not ready for more mature food. And we think, what do you have to feed a baby, an infant? Well, first, a child is weaned from its mother's breast, then perhaps baby formula, applesauce. Before teeth are in, you have to give squishy, kind of mushy food before a child grows old enough to eat real substantial food. And it can be this way for us in the spiritual life. If you've ever thought to take to someone who knows nothing, for example, if someone, wondered what it meant to be Catholic, would you hand them the catechism and say, read this? That would be off-putting, overwhelming. And so it is with us. God is very patient with us, approaching us in grace and the fullness of truth. Our being Catholic is the result of an encounter with God. That doesn't mean that we understand everything or that we can, confidently rattle off the answers to every Catholic teaching on this and that under the sun. In fact, in a lifetime, we may not be able to do that. But there's also the importance of the fact that we are called to move on from baby food. And that is our need to constantly grow in our faith, not to suffer or not to settle for a minimalistic Catholicism, which is we always in our life of prayer, and prayer is always central to our growth in life. Much as we hear in the gospel today of Jesus, one of the first mentions of him kind of slipping away for his time of prayer with the Father amongst the frenzied activity of his public ministry. For us, much as a young person growing needs their rest, to allow their body to fully grow. In the same way for us, not only do we of course need rest, but our time of prayer, of being in the presence of God, to be reminded who he is, who we are, is essential to grow to know him more and more. And so our growth will be stunted without this. Without the life of prayer, our spiritual growth will be completely stunted. But we must also continue to grow in our mind, our understanding of the faith, and the way we practice, the way we help the poor. All of these things, we must continue to grow to be stronger, more vibrant Catholics. And that is because the gift of faith implanted in our hearts and his grace every day is an opportunity to cooperate more deeply, to come to know the Lord more and more. And as we understand him more and more, we begin to understand ourselves, who we are, and we are compelled more and more to charity on behalf of others. This is the proper life of grace, the proper life of the growth of discipleship. And so, my brothers and sisters, there is no judgment on those who are still eating baby food. In a sense, all of us are children in the sight of God. But if perhaps you're someone who's really been stuck on that applesauce for a while, let's move. Let's keep growing. Let's recommit to the life of prayer, and let's continue to move on to the really good stuff. Do we want to stay on the applesauce forever, or do we want to move on to filet mignon? This is the compelling move, and sorry if you're a vegetarian, perhaps that's not the most image. The lobster, the great whatever, we want to move from the baby food to the full richness, because the deeper we go, the more incredible, the more blown away by God we are. And so, my brothers and sisters, let's recommit to prayer as well as to being proactive and continuing to grow in our faith. May God bless you all.